What is up, Algebra 2 students? This is lesson 67. Our objective is, how do you rationalize fractions with radicals in the denominator? And remember, we've worked with some of them before. We don't want any radical parties in the basement. We don't want to have any radicals or square roots or cube roots or anything like that in the denominator. And so we've also talked about conjugates, whenever we talked about foiling some things. But just a complex, notice conjugates are exactly the same except for that center term there is different. So the sign of the second term is different. So -4 minus this, -4 plus this. So they're the same except the second one's different. And we can rationalize these, or we can quote-unquote simplify these by multiplying by the conjugate of the denominator. I'm using a big word, conjugate there, but just take the bottom one, change the sign of the second, put that over itself, and multiply that, because notice this is just a big number 1, right, because it's the same number over itself. So I'm not changing the number, I'm just changing the way it looks. So to simplify this, I'm going to multiply the top, get off of highlighter, that might help. That's going to be 3 times -4 minus the square root of 3. And my denominator, notice I'm going to FOIL, like it's going to be this times this. So I'm going to go and do that in this step here. This is going to be first. So -4 times -4 is 16. I said 16, I wrote 14. 16 outer. This times this is going to give me negative. Sorry, it's going to be plus because it's a negative and a negative. Plus 4 square roots of 3. Inner, it's going to give me minus 4 square roots of 3. And then last is this times this, which is going to give me minus the square root of 3 times 3, which is 9. Notice these middle two terms right here are opposite signs, but the same, so those go to 0. So this is going to come out to be, if I distribute this in, -12 minus 3 square roots of 3 divided by 16. That's that. This is just 0. And that last one is minus the square root of 9. Well, the square root of 9 is 3, so I'm going to say minus 3. Okay, now this is going to come out to be, top's going to stay the same, -12 minus 3 square roots of 3. 16 minus 3 is going to give me 13. And now I have simplified that because I have taken all the radicals out of my denominator. Let's do 2 more just so you can get the hang of that and see how that works. Notice these are our practice A and B, which may or may not be part of your homework. Wink, wink. Let's multiply by the conjugate of the denominator. So it's going to be -3 minus the square root of 7. So multiply the top, which is just 1 times that numerator, so it's just going to be -3 minus the square root of 7. The bottom, again, we're going to FOIL. So it's going to be the first, which is going to be 9. -3 times -3 is 9. Outer, it's going to give me plus 3 square roots of 7, and the inner is going to give me minus 3 square roots of 7. So those two just go to 0, and then the last, which comes out to be minus the square root of 49, which is just 7. So it's going to be -3 minus the square root of 7 over 9 minus 7. So it's going to be -3 minus the square root of 7 over 9 minus 7 is 2. One more for good measure here. I'm going to multiply this by 3 square roots of 2 minus the square root of 3. And again, so I'm multiplying by this, whatever the denominator is, except I'm changing the sign right here in the middle. Okay. So as I multiply these, this is going to give me, think about 5 times each of those. So it's going to be 15 square roots of 2 minus 5 square roots of 3 over foiling, so first is going to give me 9 square roots of 4. Outer and inner, those are going to reduce to 0. And then last, which is going to give me minus the square root of 9, because 3 times 3 is 9. This is going to come out to be 15 square roots of 2 minus 5 square roots of 3 over, this is going to give me 9 times 2 minus 3, so it's going to be 9 times 2 is 18 minus 3, which is just 15. So it's going to give me over 15. And then, of course, I have a 5 that I could factor out the top, which maybe I shouldn't even send it in. So it would be 5 times 3 square roots of 2 minus the square root of 3 over 15. And that 5 will reduce with there. So my answer here would be 3 square roots of 2 minus the square root of 3 over 3. Alright, so your homework is on page 274. You can do the practice, which I may or may not have just done, 6 through 8, and then 10 more of your choice.